Rahul came from the office after a hard day at 8 o'clock. He wanted a Caesar for some work, so he went to the kitchen, opened a drawer, and started looking out for the Caesar. Caesar was not there. So he asked his wife Meeta, where you have kept the Caesar. So Meeta also started searching for the Caesar. She said, I don't know. I have not kept the Caesar. So they started finding out the children. They went to the children's room and they asked children where you have kept the Caesar. The children didn't like the tone of their parents. They got very angry and very wild. So a small Caesar became the source of the whole full-fledged Mahabharat for the next half an hour. Do you feel this is the story of each and every household? We are losing our blissful connection with our children because of a small Caesar. Do you think Caesar was the reason or there is some other reason? So today we are going to discuss in detail about what goes wrong and how we can sort out by just simple awareness those things and change it. Yes, Preetham, what you would like to share?
Wonderful, Jiyana. This story reminds me of another thing that I had with a parent where I would, mentor them. And this parent, it's like the usual story where parent or the person, this lady who would wake up, the mothers especially go through this, and trying to get the breakfast done. As the time is running out, going to wake up the children, and probably the child has just woken up and getting ready, wearing the uniform or whatever clothes, coming back again to cook the meal, maybe little bit of burnt breakfast that day, keeping an eye on the clock to make sure her son or daughter doesn't miss the bus. And all this leads to stress. One day okay, but when you do this every time, every day, it can actually lead to a lot of stress for parents, and the joy of parenting becomes less and less. And I think these are the problems that we should be tackling or helping parents with, and that's what both of us do. I'm so happy that you come here to share your insights about from the parenting and what parents could do from a spiritual perspective, and all this valuable insights that you bring to the
Yeah,
audience.
Preetham, you had a really interesting journey, life journey. Can you please share that life journey with all of us?
Yeah, I mean,
How you do this?
yeah, I mean, it's like at an early stage itself, I decided to join the Navy, and in a way, I was quite clear, but it's not necessary. Every teenager should be like that. And I also feel, parents giving what I say trust and support to the child, which is one of the most important ingredients of parenting. If we can do that in a nutshell, I would say would make a lot of give a child a lot of confidence to take good decisions. This is especially true for teenagers, and we'll be talking more about it as the day unfolds, as we get into our dialogues. And uh, after sailing for this many years, 20 years, I decided that I wanted to start this organization, Skills Beyond Education, and get more involved in not only adults but also adolescents, especially in children. And Gianna, if you can also share what got you into what I can say the parenting, as becoming a parenting coach, and to author this book, Relearn Parenting, and if you could share some insights into that.
Yes. I was working as a lecturer and a vice principal in one of the reputed college of Mumbai, and for working for 30 years. I really enjoyed it. I got Best Teacher Award. I was university topper, Mumbai University topper in my Masters of Education. But still, I was not feeling that satisfaction. And then I realized that it's the authenticity. Every soul is born with its unique, innate knowing, and they are not given that. So I started writing the book and I started doing all those things. I started speaking about it, and then I realized that authenticity is lacking in many children, not only me. I got it at a very late, but that is creating a lot of problems in the life of people. First of all, we are creating substandard workforce because the child who is born to be a painter is made a doctor, he is not going to excel in medicine. So that's why I wrote this book, Relearning Parenting. All the parents need to relearn that parenting in order to explore the soul. And when I started consulting parent, I realized that spirituality is the one which is going to help everyone. And that's why I changed my course from parenting, and now I'm dealing in parenting as well as in spiritual, the soul connection of for parents.
Nice. I mean, it's wonderful that you're bringing your rich experience of being a teacher and the vice principal, how you dealt with children and the parents who would have come there. I'm sure they would have had a lot of things to ask you and for you
Yes,
to deal with. Yeah,
yes.
yeah, it's
Don't you
wonderful.
think, Preetham, when we start discussing, we come to know that there is so much of problem and there is a need for consultation. But many of us don't feel that it's not necessary. We feel that our parents parented us. We are going to change. We are going to improve. But what I observe that we follow the same pattern generations and generations after, same pattern at unconscious level. So we need to see to it that our generation is the first generation where we are going to break through those toxic pattern and going to help our children to grow into authentic soul. So what we are going to discuss, Preetham, today?
Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. And before we get started, especially for our live audience, I would like to thank you for taking time out to being here and uh, being there here to listen in. And hopefully, you have a lot of value that you can take away. And thank you, Gianna, for coming here and sharing your insights. I'm also going to be sharing a free ebook for all of you who would like to grab it. Then please grab. It's called The Pursuit of One Thing, which you can use for yourself and also bring this persistence or grit in your child. And I've shared the link, and you can just go there and grab this free ebook. Later, we will also be sharing other links, and hopefully, you'll have a good time. And to get
I
started.
wanted to
Yeah,
share.
yeah, Diana.
Yeah, they can book a free consultation with me for 30 minutes, and I have uploaded the Google form, so they can click and share the details. I will get back and fix the appointment.
Super, super. So we will be sharing those links from time to time. So do stay connected. We have some great things to give away. A lot of value that both Gianna has accumulated and I have got over the last many years of working with cadets, children, young children from 8 plus, and a lot of insights that I have, which I've got, and also especially being as a teen parenting coach, things that parents could have avoided, could have done better, which could have avoided the problems that teenagers face. That also we will be sharing today. And so to get started, Gianna, what I would like to ask you really is, today children have no real friends,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And parents have become like some sort of a de facto friends, and maybe in the school a little bit, but when they come home, their friends are parents. So what do you think is the issue? What would you advise the parents?
Yes, that is what is happening, Preetham. This happens when you lose your connection with your soul. See, there is a ego and there is a soul. When the child is conditioned and when there are too many diktats and the rules and regulations, it creates a problem for a child. Child does not understand. Child starts hiding its real true self. So when you start hiding behind your ego, you create that false shell persona. It is called by Carl Jung persona, and in spirituality, it is called ego ahankar. That what we are, and then the child is expected. That child has to be slim, child has to be good looking, child has to be achiever, child has to be this, and child has to be that. So when we start asking those things from the child, child starts rejecting himself, his real true self. because child is having his own issues. And that's what happened when child is given expectations, burdened with expectation, and when child goes into the world, he also goes with expectations. So whenever he goes out, like for example, if child is wearing Nike and all branded clothes, Reebok shoes, etc., so then he expects that whoever is wearing those shoes will be my friend, otherwise they will not be my friend. So same expectations they start looking out for. And when they don't get that friend or the same type of things, they don't like those friends. And since they are into their ego nature, ahankar, because parents are not trained by their parents, so their parents probably were not trained by their parents, so naturally nobody knows what is soul, because soul is something which is your true authenticity, okay, through authentic inner innate knowing. So what happens, they start rejecting everyone whoever is coming. See, whenever there is a friendship, there is going to be ups and downs, there is going to be fight, but when there is a fight, they can't take it because of the ego, ahankar, that how you can say like that. You must have seen that many children, one case came to me where the child went into the depression because she was thrown out of her WhatsApp group formed by their friends. So this is not correct. Okay, this is not correct, and that's why parent need to be aware what is soul and what is unconditional parenting is, and how to make child much more motivated in order to have true genuine connection. See, whenever I share my vulnerability, Preetham, okay, suppose I share my vulnerability, you are going to share and you are going to have that emotional bonding. But suppose if I hide myself, all my, and if I visit Paris and I show my picture visiting Paris, if I show my picture in best clothes, best thing, best parties, best places, all five-star hotels, etc., best things, okay, so naturally the other people cannot link. So that's what is creating this is according to the Kaiser Foundation in 2018, the survey was created, and they said that this generation, especially millennial, is the most connected generation because of social media, but they don't have any emotional connect with each other. And that emotional connect is very important in today's world. And that's what parent needs to learn about spirituality. And that will help them. That's my
Super.
main
Wow.
mission is.
Super. I really like how you brought in the ego and the parental pressure itself, affecting the child's the how they make friends. It kind of also reminds me that one of the reasons that I have seen is we all make friends. If we actually go back to our own childhood, we've all made friends, or whoever our friends are, people we have played with, people we've had fun with. Even now in life, who do we go back to, who do we call up? The person with whom we have most fun, they are most great companion. So if we can bring more such opportunities to the child today, I'm not blaming the parents, but it is like we don't have any options, because children don't have a place to play joyfully. It is either coaching classes, it's either a cricket coaching class, football coaching class. That's not really fun. It's more work. It's like, okay, I've come from school, finished one work, go to the second work. So the joyful playing, if we can bring, and where children can come and just free play, and that would actually build stronger friendship. They would be waiting. I remember when we were all children, I'm sure most parents will, that the parents have to pull them back because we are having fun. Nobody wants to come back home. There's a time up, better come and study. And if we can give back that, I'm sure the children will start. Parents will have tough time bringing them back home. Now it's like chasing them from house. Go out and play. Go out and play. And
Yes.
it's no longer come back home. It's go out and play. So how can we do that? I think that we need to create a lot of free play opportunities for children, not organized play, but free play, and that is going to create a very beautiful bond, and the children would want then to meet each other, go down and play. Of course, we should also stop the digital devices when they go. It's not like when they all go, if they're going to carry their digital devices and just say, okay, we're going to play video games, that's not going to create that bond. It has to be, you know what, no digital devices, come up with whatever you want. It's okay to feel bored a little bit. You all will come up with some creative games, take the ball and start playing, show them few things maybe from your own childhood. So somewhere as parents, we'll have to take these kind of steps just to help them. And if I can share a story, Gianna, long time back, in fact 3 4 years back, there was this cricket coaching which was happening. Okay, children were playing there inside the coaching, and my son and myself, we had just moved into the apartment, and we said, okay, we are going to play there, and we just went and started playing. Another 2 3 boys came, and we were playing like freestyle cricket. Okay, not organized, and we were having fun, just old school running like gully cricket. And the children from the other side, they were watching to our side of playing as if they were like jailed or something, when the coach will let us so we can go and play outside. And the moment the coaching finished, they all, most of them ran and came. They said, uncle, can we play with you? Can we have no, like this, whatever? I said, yeah, why not just join in? And we had a great time, and my son made a lot of friends because of that. Okay, another 1 or 2 times I went with him, and later it was not necessary. They had made great friends.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
that's really great. What about
so
screen time? I think one of the very important issue they are facing is screen time. No doubt. See, Preetham, what parents are telling, that we are asking them, we are providing them that opportunity to go out, mingle with friends, come with us, we will take out. But child is not ready to come out of their room. They like to have and live in that virtual world. And the situation is, some of the situations are like that, where child becomes violent. I have seen, this type of cases have come, that girl, she's so much under pressure, and there is so much of stress that she gets violent with her parents. That is the level the screen addiction is coming to. So I don't want whoever is watching to be, be aware about that this can happen if the screen addiction continues. So Preetham is going to suggest some ways how you can curtail screen
yeah,
addiction.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. Gianna, I've also shared a form for parents to ask a question in case anybody,
Yeah.
or the viewers, to ask a question. Maybe today we will take it up if we get time. If not, then definitely we'll try to address it another time.
Yeah.
And in case you would like to talk to Gianna or me, you can fill this form, check the boxes, and we would be happy to connect with you, happy to share some thoughts that can help you as a parent. And having worked with many parents, many things we have learned ourselves, unlearned many things, and we'll be happy to share them with you. And coming back is the digital addiction or digital influence in our life is so strong that there is nobody, we don't even need to sell that. People already know that point is so strong. What we can do is, one, observe as parent our own digital habits, because in the end, children imitate us, especially young children. Older children also, they will challenge us. Are you're using? Why are you telling me to cut down? Older children will ask that. Younger children may not ask, but they will definitely imitate. So one is, observe your own self, observe your own behavior, because for a young child, you are the role model. There is nobody else. Okay, teacher is to some extent, but the child is living under your roof, so you are the role model. And the other thing that you can use is being firm about the digital usage. Do not give, my own sincere advice is, do not give digital media, digital devices to young children. Let them reach an age of 11, 12 years before they even start using it. Don't worry about becoming, not so intelligent, becoming dumb by not using. They actually will become more intelligent, because they are going to be creatively rich, because they're going to be playing with their imagination, building imagination, because imagination gets really strongly built in these tender years before they're 12. After that also gets built, but not like the rich, the neural pathways that get created. So avoid digital media, don't give them devices. And finally, if you still must, because of pressures from school or sibling pressure and other things like that, then at least add something called family link, which is there on Google. It's Google family link on Android, probably it's on Apple too, and you can download that and uh, use that to control the quantity and the quality of digital usage. That means you can control how much of time your child should use. For young children, I would say not more than an hour, and maybe for teenagers, probably hour and a half on weekdays, are on the tops, I would say. Maybe on the weekend, you could give them a little more liberty. So Family Link, I think just click that app somewhere and download it, and the app should help you with the rest of the things.
I will like to add one more point over here. While dealing about internet addiction, while consulting, I came to know that why there is internet addiction. Internet addiction comes or springs from the lack, that they don't feel fulfilled in the life. I have observed the children who feel lack in somewhere, that they are not achiever, they are not achieving something, they are reverting to internet addiction, because just pressing and clicking and things giving you the trophies or treasure, or you fight with the person and you get out your anger, and that rush of winning. Every child wants to win, and here that internet or whatever the screen addiction gives you that rush, you are trying to run away, the child is trying to run away from the reality. That we have to understand. And I felt, Preetham, I think I'm sure you will agree, that when we give child creative opportunities, the child immediately shift to that creative opportunity where he wins. I'll just give you a small example. My son, when he was around 5 or 6 year old, just now one audience has asked a question. 2 year old son is what to tell to that child. So I tried to ask him to off the television. I was working, so he used to be in front of the television, and when I used to come, I used to feel irritated. Continuously whole day you are watching television. You should do things, and that time he used to not be in mood. So what I felt, that when you give the opportunity, other interesting opportunities where child could perform and win those things, where he can do things, where like I started putting him for the outdoor games, football, etc. He was absolutely not interested in outdoor games, and I got really worried. So I started getting Legos for him, and he took to that Legos. So I will advise you to find out, no doubt it is a patience, and we require to have that patience, because our child are very precious to us. So you have to keep on exploring what child likes, especially 2 year old. You can invest in some of the games, Legos, etc., and find out time to play with that child. Or whether your child is outdoorish type, then you can enroll them for outdoor games or something, where child gets a company of other children, and where the child gets to perform and things, then that will be really interesting, and
Yeah,
that
I
will
think,
help the productive
yeah,
addiction. That's what I
yeah.
feel.
Yeah, I nicely captured, and I would like to add a couple of more points to this thing. A little, probably a different path is one of the things the parents could do is what I say. You build the will of a child in the early years before their first
Yeah.
fall of teeth. If you can, that is when their will strength gets built the maximum. So, to give an example, if the child is playing, let's say playing with some toy, maybe wants to clean the house, maybe wants to play with the mud, or some just keeps, making something with the same toy for going on and on and on. we should not break the child's play at that time. Even though as a parent
Yes.
we get bored watching the child do the same thing. Okay, it's okay as long as it is nothing electrical, life threatening, or something like that, not dangerous. Then allow the
Yeah.
child to do the same thing, because that is the real focus of the child. The child is building massive will strength, and many times I see people stopping that and saying, you know what, hey, बहुत हो गया types, दूसरा कुछ खेलना अभी types. So we have to hold ourselves back and allow the child to fully immerse in themselves, and that will bring massive will strength when they grow up. The second thing is from a digital media. I'm not sure if Shivanator is talking from digital media or generally. If you could also share what exactly you mean, it will also help us comment better. And for now, I'm assuming and then commenting that for digital media, do avoid digital media. Let their imagination get built with a lot of free play. That means if you have a bark of tree, give them that bark of tree, a small tree that you somewhere it fell, some nice pebbles, not big ones I'm talking, so that the child doesn't swallow. And so they'll start making imaginative things. The twig and the stone can be probably a car, or it'll be something else, could be some kitchen item. So they will build a lot of imagination with these natural things. So give them these kind of things, but not too much of the digital thing till they are grown up. So you can, one, allow them to play till they are hearts content in the same game, not digital, again, not digital media, I'm not talking digital media. Two is allow them the remove them from the digital space, so these two things if you can do, you're really done a great work in the early years for the child.
I think she wanted to know about how to stop child from doing certain things. I think that's the question for each and every parent, and whatever the age, it doesn't stop. Every parent want to change the child from doing or stop the child from doing things. So I will like to talk about spiritual take. Spiritual take is every child has its own inner innate knowing or a blueprint. So child is going to go for those things. So if it is unless and until, okay, if it is harmful, like fire, electricity, or whatever harmful, we should allow child to have that freedom. And whatever we are going to whatever we are going to do things, okay, should be focused as a child at an equal level. In my book I have given the mistakes which parents do. We usually think this type of a method, that first, respect. In Indian tradition we have this respect philosophy, but the latest is there has to be respect, no doubt, but it is have to be equal. That means everyone has to be at an equal level. So you have to share the responsibility with them. And it is one of the method is natural consequences. Let the child, if it is not dangerous, let the child face natural consequences of that situation. Then now the child is too young, I know, but you should give that freedom to the child and try to understand why you are stopping child from doing this thing, what you want, what he does should not do, and how valid it is. If you allow, how much damage will happen, so all these things, questions we should start asking. Yes.
Yeah, I think Shivanator has asked for the name of your book, Jiyana. I have shared my book, which is Three Culprits, more relevant for parents and teenagers and plus. But for, I'm sure for young kids
Definitely,
and all
yes,
that,
yeah.
yeah, for parents, any across ages, of course, Three Culprits. The book is called Three Culprits. And Gianna, if you have a link for your book, Relearn
Yes,
Parenting,
yes.
please do share. So,
Available on Amazon, Relearning
Amazon.
Parenting. You
Okay,
can
so
fill the Google form and I
and
can
you
send
can
it to
and
you.
you can also send, yeah, that is also a good idea. You can also fill the form. It was shared earlier. I will any case share in case of people who are coming in now into the uh, viewership.
I think I will like you to talk about procrastination since it's your forte. So, how parents as well as children can stop the procrastination? What is those nuggets you can give, Preetham?
Yeah. One of the things that I say is we all suffer. It's not like even though I come as a coach for this and I help people, my inner voice also sometimes, it starts to talk to me and say, hey, leave it today, don't do, let's do tomorrow, all those things. It's there. So we have to only overcome it every day, win over it every day. So that is the first thing, that it's okay. We all go through it. There is nobody in the world who doesn't. If somebody has succeeded or somebody has done something, they've just won over that day by day. Okay. And what I can share is start your day with some gardening. Start your day with some gardening is one of the most soulful. We all have some ancestral background, maybe not immediate, but definitely if you go back 3 4 generations, 4 5 generations, we've all had some farming background. Our grandparents, parents, great grand, somebody would have done a little bit of farming. And before that, though, for millennia we have been doing. It's been there. Farming has been one of the things. So starting your day, going to your pots, taking care of it, not doing something on yourself, not going for those exercise. I'm not do all that a second, but the first work, if you can start doing taking care of a plant, something which cannot speak. Every day we breathe air, but we don't give gratitude to that, right? So in a way, you're giving gratitude to that, getting back to the very old DNA when our will was very strong. If we can get into this habit of caring for a plant every day in the morning, you will start seeing a small change in your will. It's a very, very simple thing. I share more about it in the book. I call this the gatekeeper task. It is very popular in the boot camps that I run for adults and teenagers. And parents, I will share a link where the next one is happening on the 1st of March. And parents, if you all are interested, then do join. It's benefited many people, over 1,000 plus in the last 2 years, and as parents and as individuals, and do grab that things and start doing it. Yeah. So with that thing, I would say, like, yeah, if you have any specific thing on procrastination, I can share. But otherwise, what I've shared is one simple thing of doing the gatekeeper task, or what I call the caring for a plant. And I will also share another interesting tip, what I call thought to action. Thought to action. That means the moment the thought comes, turn that into action. Don't do it for everything, but just for one thought.
Yeah,
And
that's amazing.
yeah, just turn that. Suppose you suddenly realize, oh my God, I have to pay the bill. Don't say, okay, let me finish this coffee and then pay the bill. Stop your coffee, pay the bill. Oh, I remember to water the plants. Okay, let me finish this book and then go. No, just leave the book aside, finish watering the plants, come back. Oh, I have to do this. Just do for one task a day. Don't have to do it for lots, just one task. This also will build your grit. It is that what you do, those small, simple daily things consistently, is what is going to build your grit, in a way overcome your procrastination. It is not fancy things, not some big grand things. It is these simple daily things.
And I have a good news for audience. Okay, I felt two things regarding procrastination. The first thing, when the whatever you are doing, the activity is not aligned with your soul, the activity which you are doing is not aligned with your soul, means that's what not you were born for, or that's what not universe wants you to do it, you usually end up procrastinating. Okay, so that's what I came to know about it. Second, because our soul is linked with the divine consciousness. Okay, and divine consciousness has manifested all these things. However difficult it is for you to believe, because of our mind is rational, you will find that out in your life. Okay, everything is going as per the divine will. So when our soul's calling, when we take our soul's calling and ego's voice, okay, ego's voice creates a lot of noise, and forces us go for coffee. That's what you say, But the soul voice is softer and tells us, no, that project is very important, that homework is very important, you must do it. And when we start rejecting that soul's voice and start listening to that ego voice, our life becomes hell, okay, with the guilt. So, second good news is start listening to your soul's voice. You can follow Sucheta's hub, Jiyana's hub, to know more about it. And second thing I came to know is self compassion. You know, even if you make mistakes, even if you procrastinate, be compassionate towards yourself. Really helps. They have found out that they have done research in USA on two interest groups. So one was asked to be compassionate towards their procrastination, and the other group was asked not to, compassionate about their. They were given psychological test. So the group which was self-compassionate did much better in the next exam compared to the group who did not study or procrastinated. So that's what new studies are coming up. You must be aware, everyone is talking about spirituality and all those things. So self compassion is very important, because right from the young age, Preetham, we have been asked to run around, that first complete this degree, get good marks, good college, you must earn this much, you must do that. So we were continuously running around. So our soul, against our soul's probably calling, okay, whatever calling we were born for, we are not taking that calling. And same mistakes we follow in our next generation by controlling our children. Oh, you must get good marks, you must achieve, you must become slimmer, you must become taller, you must know cycling, you must know swimming, you must also know karate, as well as you should crack that physics olympiad quiz.
Hmm.
So we want doing that. So it is creating, taking child far away from its soul into ego self, and it's create a problem and stress in parent child relationship. What do you feel, Preetham, about parent child stress?
Yeah, I can kind of agree, like what you also shared, about the ego voice and the soul voice. I just give it a different name, but we are, I think, on the same page. I call the voice of the soul and voice of the body.
Yes.
Body being the entirety, all inclusive. And how I think as parents, we all, I'm sure all of us, that we want to imprint our desires, our voice over the child and who they want to become, and or what kind of human being they should turn, or what kind of things they must experience, which is good for very young kids, maybe because they have no experience of life. But as the child is growing, in a way, you are the director. What I would say, you're the director of the child's life in early years. Okay. And as the child is becoming middle years, 8, 9, and going on, they're somewhere becoming like I'm talking director from a movie perspective, they become like assistant director. Okay,
Yes.
not fully director, as a little bit you give them, okay, TK, you decide what clothes you want, something, or what dress, little freedom. Then as they're becoming older, say 15 plus, you're allowing more directorship, they're becoming director, you're becoming assistant director, you're helping them director.
Their life. That's
Yeah.
really great
But what
suggestion.
we do is ulta, you know we give a lot of things for the child, lot of freedom for the child in the early years, where we it's like a lot of freedom about when you should go for bath, when you should eat. We are asking 4-year-olds, 5-year-old, do you want to go for bath now or later? We're giving too much control there.
Yes.
But at the same time, when they are teenagers, we are doing literally wrestling match there, and telling them, Arey, why you don't do this?
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yes.
so if you had more control, more directorship in the early years, you showed the child your how they should live, what they when they should take bath, when they should eat, what they should do. You are directing your the child is looking up to you for directorship. Sometimes the child wants a firm parent. At least in early years, they want to say, no, my mother will not allow this, my father will not allow me to do. They want somebody, they don't want a parent who's going to be like, "Ha, theek hai, whatever, apni marzi, whatever you want, we'll do." No, that they want much later.
Yes.
We're doing ulta, you know.
And I have done this chart in my book where I have written, see, if
Okay.
there is a dysfunctional family, then
Mm.
parents and child don't talk much. But
Okay.
if it is a vibrant and emotionally bonded family, they
Hmm.
like to talk about everything.
Yeah.
Parents talk about their vulnerabilities also. And I
Yeah.
think that's the best method to
Yeah.
have the emotional bonding with your child.
Yeah.
When you share your mistakes, failures, problems with your child, child comes to know, and they feel, oh, mommy and daddy are also like me,
Hmm.
and they also start opening up.
Yeah.
Unless and until they open up, Preetham, it's like a water in a closed bottle. Okay,
Hmm.
you start pouring the water, you start giving the advice, they are not going to take the advice,
Hmm.
it's going to flow out.
Yeah.
So when you uh, create that impactful soul connection, not from ahankar, ego, that's why spirituality is very important, and my book deals with it, about
Nice.
it. So spirituality is, they come out, both mother as well as child, or father as well as child comes out of their ego or ahankar, and then they are able to establish real soulful connection. You must have heard about soulful connection. So that's why spirituality is very important for establishing that soulful. So, it's like you're opening up the cap of the bottle. So, whatever you tell your child, or whatever the sanskar or the good culture you want to pass on, child is receptive.
Hmm.
Whatever productive habits you are talking about, if they have that soul connection, deep soul connection, child, the parents can, parents don't have, when parent is does not have ahankar or ego, they are also vibrant and blissful, because
Hmm.
that's the soul's nature. Okay,
Yeah.
that soul, when you talk or work from soul's perspective, that's the soul's nature, and that time you can easily establish deep connection with your child. So
Wonderful.
what do you feel, Preetham, about
Yeah,
deep
I
connection?
mean, I'm completely in sync with many things that you shared, though I would a little bit add a little,
Yeah, productive
perspective
aspect, yes.
to the what you said about the child looking up, the vulnerability of the parent. Okay, in my view, what I saw seen is in the early years. Again, I'm breaking this up into early years, middle years, and later childhood years. In the early years, they want a superhero mom and dad. They
Yes.
want them to be like, you don't have vulnerability. You are literally next to God. If I say ice cream comes up. If I say this, that comes up.
Over pampering, yes.
Yeah, not pampering, but they like to believe that their parents
Parent,
are unbeatable. They're this is gods, literally. But
yes.
as they are growing up, the child wants to
Yeah.
see a little vulnerability. So, if the parent is vulnerable too early, what happens is the child develops a little low confidence. But if the child sees the vulnerable parent in their teens, because that time they know my parents, mom and dad are just human beings only, they are not full of flaws. If they can see that in the teen years, then a massive and beautiful bond, like which kind of develops, which you have put in your book, it will have a beautiful bond between a parent child. I think that would be, in some ways, building a great human connection, and allowing the child to, it's like a young plant. I say a young plant is just growing at that time. Though we can say let it grow on its own, we are saying, what, let me just protect it. Maybe a cow will come and eat. Maybe I need to just, the wind will break that stalk or something else. I just need to put some compost, put some soil, good soil. And then as it becomes a little sturdy and strong, like a teenager, not even a tree yet, then you're like, okay, I will not do so much like before, little less I will do. Then as it becomes a tree, then you're like, abhi to pakad liya roots, it's like down deep, and it's like all good for it.
Yes.
Thank you, Shivnathur. Thank you for ordering. I hope
Yes.
you enjoy reading it.
Yeah, I think we will keep some other questions for the next
Yeah.
meeting. And
I think I have one question: is how would you advise parents and child the stress that is being built, you know from their day-to-day life, like the
yeah,
example I shared, where the morning rush hour, which is typical of any household today, what would you advise, especially from a spiritual perspective? How could they manage themselves, manage their day better?
Yeah. What is happening, Preetham? I noticed that we are paying too much of attention to our sense perceptions, eyes, ears, etc. And we want to indulge in that, watching movies, playing, or going for spa, or movies, or eating food, and all those things, because that gives us joy. But what you must have observed, Preetham, that when we indulge in that joy, exotic vacation joy, remains for 1 week. Have you
Mm.
experienced? It
Yeah,
remains only with
absolutely.
1 week, and then again you are in the same rut, in a hamster wheel. So, what is the permanent solution? Permanent solution is spirituality, breaking your ego and allowing your soul. Now, breaking your ego and allowing your soul is like a Buddha. Okay, it is difficult things, but working about that, it is ego, is very important. So the first thing I realized is the journaling is very important. Journaling helps a lot to emotional vomiting, I can say. You can
Mhm.
vomit all the emotions, etc. Whatever you have in journal, you can tear it out and throw it out and weed out. And the second thing I realize is meditation really helps a lot. 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the night really helps and creates the difference. Third, I'm observing, and I really recommend everyone, is yogic. Even if you don't get time for exercise, it's absolutely fine. But yogic breathing, you must be aware about anulom vilom and
Mhm.
all those sadhus and etc. All spiritual people talking about it. So you learn yogic breathing. It's available, freely available. So on YouTube, etc. So those yogic breathing really helps to relieve our stress. And really, I will advise, find out 5 minutes, 10 minutes to reduce the stress. And the fourth is, okay, fourth, I have realized that focus on what you have in life. Preetham, you must have observed while consulting the clients that people are focusing on what they don't have. Oh, I have only two-bedroom house, not three-bedroom house. Or
Yeah.
I have only small Indian car, not Mercedes. So, we have to, no doubt, human have to be ambitious. We have to achieve things. And every soul is born for achieving and all those things. But we have to be first grateful for what we already have. We have
Mhm.
beautiful family, beautiful children, beautiful things. So we have to be aware about all those things which we have, that we have food on our plate, roof on our head. And once we are grateful for this, we start slowly coming out of that ahankar ego, and it helps us to link with ultimate god, divine consciousness, whatever god you call, but there is that divine consciousness. And fifth point, Preetham, is surrendering to god's will.
Mhm.
Whatever is happening in your life is for purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, God's will really is there. We have to surrender. So we have to learn what is that purpose. Why
Mhm.
child is having stress, child and I'm having stress. Let's find out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you have this awareness, life changes.
Yeah.
And then you establish healthy boundaries and all those things which I have talked about in my book about healthy boundaries, that how to establish, why we are not able to establish, you know so all those healthy boundaries means line, lakshman rekha. Okay, all those things we have to observe. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. Like you've captured God's will,
Yes.
which is in a way, my core area of will, strength. And
Yes.
we always say God's will. We don't even say God's wish because
God's will.
his
Correct.
wish is a will. If he says this has to happen, it's not like a doubt. It will happen. It is going to happen like that. So beautiful. And I also would like to add to the stress part of especially the morning rush hour. And one of the clients had advised that just do a daily or not daily, sorry, weekly planning of your menu. What do you want to cook? Don't wake up that morning and say, "Oh my God, what kya khana banana hai?" types. That itself is stress. And what is there at how? What is this? Just plan for the week, buy your things for the week. This simple hack, what I say, will
Yes,
itself be stress
yeah,
free.
I felt I want to inform you.
So,
It helped me. It used to create a stress. So I prepared a menu list. Monday you will take idli chutney. Tuesday, and that really helped, Preetham.
yeah.
I just now I recollected
Yeah,
that really helped.
superb.
You're correct.
So yeah,
Perfect.
just a simple thing of how you can do this thing and improve. Next week, change again. So that itself will reduce. And another thing that you could do for older children again is it's let them wake up on their own. I'm talking say 12 plus, 11 plus year old children. I'm not talking young kids. Let them wake up. Let them wake up and get ready. Don't go chasing them to wake up.
Yes.
And if they miss school, it's not a big deal, really. It's not a
Natural
big deal.
consequences
Yeah, it's okay.
after
One or two,
morning and moving. Yeah.
they will learn better, and it's not the end of the world.
Yes.
And next day they will make sure that they will wake up on their own. Again, don't do this for young children. They are
Yes.
11, 12 plus. Definitely, they should be waking up on their own. If they miss school, don't scold them. They already know the consequences. Let it be. Next day, they will ask you, please get me an alarm. I want to wake up. I can't miss the bus, otherwise I have to tell the teacher. And be patient. Don't be kind. If they make mistakes like this, don't have to be empathetic. And I think Gianna has put in her book Relearn Parenting about empathy and compassion.
Empathy. Yes, I've
Yeah,
read.
that's a wonderful thing. So, if you have any more questions from the audience, please do put up on the channels wherever you're watching, and it does come to us, and we can probably take a few if we have time. And there is also the form that you can fill up,
Google form.
which
Yes.
yeah, which you can fill up, and we can get back to you. And that is also another thing. Yeah,
Thanks a lot. You could have been watching Netflix and enjoying outing or a coffee with
absolutely.
your spouse, but you have given it time. That shows that you are an aware parent.
Yeah,
Gratitude
it's
for that.
wonderful. Gratitude for everybody to taking time out. And I hope you enjoyed. And please follow the channels. We will share again the channel just in case you're not sure which one. Gianna, if you could also share some channels of yours, and so people can follow.
Yes, I have not kept it ready,
And
but if they fill
do,
the Google
yeah, if
form,
it is there,
I
if it is
will
there,
send in the link.
otherwise
It's
we can
called,
send.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
called
you can
Jiyana's Deep. Jiyana Deep. My name is
Gianna Deep, and
Jiyana
yeah,
Deep. All the
yeah.
channel,
Follow.
Instagram, YouTube, and I keep on posting the every morning one or the other suggestions they can take.
Superb, superb. And I've also shared the links here, YouTube channels. Please do keep filling up the form, and you can reach out. And yeah, and we'll stay connected and hopefully give you more value in the coming weeks. Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you, Gianna, for your time,
Yes.
and bye bye.
Have a blessed day. Thank you.